Hello and welcome to this live Friday edition of the Daily Edit. Every weekday we discuss techniques for editing your photos, whether they're captured with your phone, drone, or a camera. Today I want to share a tip with you that you can take into the weekend to make your photos looking better before you ever get to the edit. Stay tuned. Once again, today I want to talk about the one rule to help improve your photos before they ever make it to the edit, and that is called the rule of thirds. You may have heard of the rule of thirds, you may have seen the rule of thirds without even realizing it, but it's a method of dividing up your subject, or placing your subject rather, into a divided up area of the field of view or the frame that you see. And it dates back to the earliest written record of the rule of third, actually dates back to 1797. And again, it allows you to just divide your field of view, or what you see, into thirds. And let's see, I do have a rule of thirds here. So basically, you want to place your subject, or a portion of your subject, somewhere on the rule of thirds. You divide the screen into thirds, horizontally and vertically. Maybe that was backwards, but anyway, you get the idea. Horizontally and vertically into thirds, and then you place your subject onto that line. So like in this instance here, my eye line is on the top third, and if I were to look into the frame, then it would make more sense and be more pleasing to the eye to place it on the top and the horizontal and vertical thirds, so where those actually cross. Can be done this way as well, looking into the frame in an interview style. Very, very common for cinematography, television interviews, and things of that nature. Works great for photos as well. The purpose really is to prevent from cutting your subject, cutting the frame into two, whether it's horizontally or vertically. This is especially true like in landscape photos, where you wouldn't want the horizontal line divider to be the horizon. You would either place that on the lower third or the top third in the image, based on the subject of your image and what's in the field of view, to kind of give it a more pleasing look to the eye. Now, while it can be achieved in the crop after the fact, it's best to capture it beforehand, so that's one less thing to edit, and you can preserve more resolution of the image without having to crop down to that rule of thirds. So first of all, let me get this off the screen here, and I will go in here and show you how you can activate the rule of thirds in the iPhone. Now, by default, the grid, the thirds grid, is turned off. So you want to go into your settings, click on camera, and that very top setting toggle switch there is the grid. And you'll see when we go back to the camera, now we have the grid lines. The faint white lines that present the rule of thirds. Now, the rule of thirds works both horizontally and vertically to place your subject. So in this instance, you can see that my face is right in the middle, and it kind of creates a distracting look for this photo. There's a lot going on the sides. There's a ton of headroom up here. So if we were to just modify the frame just a little here, and there, put my eyes right there on the top third line, that creates a much more pleasing look. Again, if you're looking into the frame, if you want to place it on the horizontal and the vertical, then you would place that eye on that point on either side, and then you're looking into the rule of thirds from those points. Also, we can look at when you're capturing an image in Lightroom Mobile, which we have discussed. If you're capturing with the camera in Lightroom Mobile, you can also activate the grid there as well. Let's see, we'll swap the camera. And these 3 dots in the top of the field of view there, we'll activate these options for the camera, and you can click on the grid. And Lightroom has the ability to turn on a grid or a level, and they have several versions of the grid, but the one right there in the middle is the rule of thirds. And again, that activates the lines so you have a reference when taking your photos. Similarly, if you were to, after the fact, need to crop, you can see the rule of thirds applied as a crop in both Lightroom Mobile and Snapseed. So you'll see if we go to the crop tool, by default, the rule of thirds lines pop up, and then you can crop and align that grid over your subject and commit the crop. Same thing in Lightroom. In Lightroom Mobile, you can actually capture based on the rule of thirds, but if you were to pull up an image, let's pull up that same image. Now, by default, you don't see the rule of thirds when you're going to crop. However, when you take the corner and begin to drag, the rule of thirds grid shows up. Then you can, and as you reposition the image, you can highlight your subject onto that cross point and commit it. So there you have it. A simple and easy way to apply one rule, the rule of thirds, to your photography so that when you capture an image, the subject is in a more pleasing position in the frame. I do appreciate you joining in. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel if you got value and ring that notification bell so you know the next time we post a video or go live. And until then, have a great weekend.